Welcome to the Ringer Fantasy Football Show. My name is Danny Heifetz, and I am joined by Danny Kelly and Craig Horlbeck, and we are going through all the must-add players after Week 8, halfway through the season, kind of insane. Here's how it's going to work. We're going to go position by position. We're going to pick our top player at that position for you to add, and if we pick the same player, we'll do a trivia tiebreaker, and then we can decide who gets that guy, and then the loser has to pick someone else, and on and on. It simulates waivers. It is not that complicated. I promise you'll figure it out. Email us at ringerfantasyfootball@gmail.com. If you have trivia questions you want to send us, remember they have to be like a number, a year, a date, an amount, whatever. We have to be able to get wrong in an order, best ball style or closest to the pin, if you will. Fantasy Court, you know what? We have a very special Fantasy Court we've already recorded coming to you this Wednesday. Yeah. Check it out. We have a very, very, very special Fantasy Court with a guest judge. We actually could do that in the fantasy legal system. We have a guest judge coming to you. But for right now, we're going to get right to waivers. DK, who is your number one running back fantasy ad entering Week 9?
I found that the running back situation on the waiver wire is kind of bleak this week, but the fact that the Jets did not use Braelon Allen very much last week and then went back to him this week gives an opportunity to pick him back up. I don't necessarily love this situation, but he did have 12 carries, 32 yards, and a touchdown. They were alternating in the inside the 5-yard line, him and Breece Hall were. So I don't know, weird usage with the Jets and Braelon Allen, but he's probably out there on the waiver wire after he basically did nothing last week. So now would be the time to pick him up in case they kind of continue to do like a 1A, 1B type situation with him and Breece Hall.
This is genuinely annoying. Braelon Allen is back on his bullshit, I guess, after 2 weeks where it seemed like Breece was the guy. I just am really frustrated. I'm going to be so frustrated with this Jets team the whole year. And Breece Hall is going to be like the RB8 by the end of the season, and I'm still going to fucking hate his year because every week it feels like you have no idea what's going to happen. Sometimes Braelon Allen is like the Tyler Allgeier where he has the same amount of carries, and other games he disappears. But I agree, this is kind of handcuff week for running backs. There is not like a clear starter coming into Week 2 that you can add. Mm-hmm. So dudes like Braelon Allen, Blake Corum, Trey Benson, but
if we all agree Tyrone Tracy for the New York Giants was available, we'd all take him first, right? It feels like he's going to be the starter for the Giants going back, but I feel like he's not available in enough leagues.
I still think Braelon Allen might have more upside if Breece Hall were to get hurt than Tyrone. Maybe not. They're probably close. Yeah, I'd probably go with Tyrone Tracy. The only other thing is I'm sure coming off Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football, Jordan Mason got hurt. He hurt his shoulder. Isaac Orendo came in and played well. Problem is one, Shanahan said Mason probably would have come back if the game was close, and two, they're on bye next week, and McCaffrey might be back by Week 10. So I don't think Orendo is a great ad.
I'm torn because on the other hand, I feel like if you're looking at waivers, I feel like Isaac Orendo, they're opening McCaffrey's practice window, and I feel like McCaffrey will return, but probably not till like November 10th or something. And then meanwhile, Jordan Mason again.
November 10th is their next game, though.
Yeah, I heard that it was Week 10 was the week they're eyeing,
and they're on bye next week.
And they're on bye
November.
Week 9.
Yeah, no, that's true about the bye. I don't know. I guess I just look at it as like Jordan Mason at this point can't stay healthy, and McCaffrey with the Achilles. It's annoying because Orendo feels like that guy who's going to end up being the league winner, the 4th, 5th string running back for the Niners. It's tough to let him just sit there when you know McCaffrey's coming back with the tendonitis and Mason. There's two guys blocking his path, but they're both like, I don't know, unable to stay in a game. But that's the theme though of all these guys is they're all dudes who, if this, then that, and except for Tyrone Tracy, who I think is just going to be the starting running back for the Giants going forward. But he's rostered realistically.
I agree that Orendo looks kind of good, but they could plug any running back in and they kind of look like they're shot out of a cannon on the Niners. I agree with you. Like I would say Orendo of the guys we mentioned, Braelon Allen and Orendo have the two like league winning upside if there were to be an injury. So, I mean, I guess you take Orendo, right? You want the Niners running back over the Jets.
Yeah, but he's not even playing next week.
That's the thing. It sucks. I think that we have to go Braelon Allen. The other thing I want to note, shout out to Nate Jonke, he does great work at Pro Football Focus with usage data. Nate Jonke noted the Jets have the best schedule for running backs for the rest of the season for fantasy purposes. I think that kind of, as much as tying yourself to the Jets right now feels insane. The Jets play the Texans this week, which isn't ideal, but after that, it's by far the number one fantasy running back schedule. I think that's probably the tiebreaker, so you can go Braelon Allen. But the theme of this is all these guys are, if you have a winning team, you can stash them for if you make the playoffs. I don't feel great about a lot of the guys we're going to talk about as you have to play them this week or you're cooked. I don't feel great about a lot of these guys. Yeah. So realistically, you'd probably, if you have to plug and play because of bye week, you're probably going to try to throw like a receiver in your flex, to be totally honest, not a running back this week. But it's stashing. There's a lot of high upside running backs.
All right, that means it is time for the Braelon Allen, I genuinely hate this guy, showdown time. He's ruining Breece Hall. He's also better than Breece Hall, so.
Duality of man.
Right.
All right.
Throwing out hot takes.
This is from Weston from Hoboken.
Weston. I like that you threw in where he's from.
Hoboken?
Is that relevant?
He did. Well, he did. He just said, I'm Weston from Hoboken.
I love that.
Shouts to Hoboken.
Identify that way.
Yeah.
That's cool. Weston, so we were arguing it last week about whether Kelsey or Mahomes is more famous. DK, I don't know if DK
I already conceded, remember?
Yeah.
Just saying.
Well.
Don't have to open that wound again, but that's fine.
I mean, it's just the trivia. I didn't say anything.
Okay.
Weston says, simple trivia question to try to settle Mahomes versus Kelsey. Who has more Instagram followers, Patrick Mahomes or Travis Kelsey?
Dude. Wait, by how much? What is the trivia question?
I think we both take a side and then we pick the number. But the starting is if you don't get the person right, it doesn't matter.
I think we're all going to... Travis Kelsey has to have more, I would imagine.
That is what I
Unless
thought.
that's the point of this trivia question, is that Mahomes has more.
I don't know the answer to this. I didn't look it up because it just seemed so easy to fact check that I didn't actually.
Dude, it's got to be Kelsey, right? I mean, it has to be Travis Kelsey.
I'm not going to lie. It hadn't
now
occurred
you
to
guys
me
are
that they could have sent it.
Huh.
No.
It didn't occur to me they could have sent it to
I feel very, very confident it's Travis Kelsey.
Yeah,
then
it's
I
Kelsey.
do too.
Yeah. Okay, so it's Kelsey. If we're all wrong, that'd be funny. But how? So we want to guess
by
how many?
How much?
Yeah. Taylor Swift has like it's between 2 and 300 million. I'm pretty sure. Kelsey.
Well, first, I guess we also have to think about how much Mahomes has.
So how many more followers does Travis Kelsey have than Patrick Mahomes?
Oh, is it more or just total for Kelsey?
I thought it was more. We're doing just Kelsey. How many does Kelsey have?
I
This
think that's
trivia
simpler.
question's going great.
Wasn't the question how many more followers does one have than the other, or is it just who has more followers?
Let's just do how many followers Kelsey has.
Okay.
How many followers does Kelsey have?
I wonder who's the most followed. Cristiano Ronaldo is the most followed person in the world, right?
Is it Ronaldo? I thought it was Taylor Swift. Is it Ronaldo?
I thought it was Ronaldo. Fact check me on that. Kai, let me know. I think Ronaldo has like 500 million.
Oh, yeah. Ronaldo is 640.
Gomez. How many does he have?
640 million.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
I think Selena Gomez is number 2.
Okay. I have a number for Kelsey.
Okay. I don't feel good about this. I'm ready.
3, 2, 1. 18 million.
30.
Oh, I said 80. Shit.
What did you say, Heifetz?
I said 18 million.
I was like, 1 in every 3 people who follows Taylor Swift would go follow Travis Kelsey, right?
Mahomes has 6.7 million, and Travis Kelsey has
6.8.
Oh my God.
Travis Kelsey has 6 million followers on Instagram.
6.8, and Mahomes has 6.7. Wow.
You could almost say it's kind of close.
Well, thank God you conceded.
Let me investigate.
Wow.
I'm not sure I buy this. There's something afoot.
What do you mean there's something afoot? This is his Instagram.
I just hold on here. How often does he post?
I'm pretty surprised that yeah.
I am.
Wow.
I'm gobsmacked.
It's pretty low.
I just wanted to start a dialogue. Hey, here, Kai just sent us the top 5 people on Instagram right now. Ronaldo, Messi. I guess you probably could have guessed those 2. Selena Gomez, Kylie Jenner, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah. Those all make sense. It's because Travis is just posting fucking new heights breakouts.
It's like my Instagram.
Follow us on Instagram at Ringer Fantasy Football because it's just like DK's Instagram. We could beat Travis Kelsey. We could do that.
He's not really curating this thing in any interesting way.
Is Travis Kelsey on TikTok?
I don't know.
Yeah, he's got 2.8 million on TikTok.
Dude, I guess 80 million. God damn it.
And let's see if Mahomes is on TikTok. Here.
I think this is a question that I am like philosophically I was the most off on. Like I genuinely thought he had so many more followers.
I like that the ones that we think we'll get right are the ones we're the most wrong on. There's something we should remember about that.
Man, 6 million followers.
Okay, so I get
Jackson
Braelon Allen.
Mahomes has over 1 million followers on TikTok.
Jackson Mahomes?
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes' brother. All right. So, yeah, what do you guys think? Is this you said you're gobsmacked, Craig?
That's correct, Daniel.
Okay. Couple 100,000? That's like a margin for error in polling.
Find those followers, Arizona.
Craig's gonna call up Instagram and try and find more followers.
Yeah.
Follows.
Okay, so you're taking Braelon Allen, DK. I'm assuming you're taking Isaac Guerrero. Or no?
He's on bye, so it's like kind of weird.
Right.
For the purposes of our game, look, we do this game where Kai is trying to pick the team that scores most points after this. So I'm going to leave Guerrero out of this. I do think you should pick up Guerrero if he's out there, just in case McCaffrey isn't going to come back next week. He has a setback, whatever. It's definitely worth doing. Just stashing him on your bench. That being said, I guess I have to go with Tyler Allgeier. Again, this is handcuff week, and Allgeier had 12 carries. Didn't really do much with him, 33 yards last week. But I think at the very least, Allgeier is a flex with benefits where if Bijan Robinson were to go down, Allgeier does bring league-winning upside. And like at the very least, you can plug him into your flex and hope for like 7 or 8 points if you're very desperate with bye weeks. So
they're playing Dallas next week, who's been terrible against the run. And whenever Atlanta wins games big, Allgeier gets a lot of touches.
Yeah, so I'll go with Allgeier. Don't love the running backs this week.
No, it's brutal. I'll go with Justice Hill, I guess, on the Ravens. Justice Hill is good for like a big play every other game. So they work him in kind of depending on the matchup. So I'm going to go with Justice Hill.
Another good stash is Keaton Mitchell, by the way, who's coming back for the Ravens at some point. I don't know if this is definitely like for
that's
deeper
a deep.
bench.
I think that's
that's like a deep cut one. But he looked awesome before he got hurt last year. So just keep that in mind. Blake Corum still out there. Trey Benson.
I think Blake Corum is the guy that I would identify as like, again, if these names are kind of like, come on,
they're not
guys,
playing, but those are handcuffs. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that if you're like, if you're 5-1 or 6 or whatever, God, I keep forgetting for in this season, 6-2, 7-1, whatever. If you're like going to make the playoffs, probably going to have a bye and you're thinking about upside again, Blake Corum is the guy that he's not playing a ton right now, but Kyron Williams has a lot of injury history. And Kyron Williams, does he have 2/3 of the Rams touchdowns or something insane? Yeah. That's one that just Blake Corum would just take like, I think a ton of the role over Ronnie Rivers. And that's someone who, again, would step into like week 2, like 2 or 3 weeks in December and just be a top 5 running back is Blake Corum. That's the guy who largest share possible of a massive offense now that Kupp and Puka are back. So again, he's not going to do anything for you right now. But if you're thinking, if you have the luxury of thinking past Thanksgiving right now, then yeah, Blake Corum's another good one. Also, I want to shout out Dalvin Cook while he's more famous than these guys. I think he's dust. He had 6 carries for 12 yards, which I think is appropriate. And he basically played because Rico Dowdle got food poisoning. I personally would not add Dalvin Cook. I think the Cowboys offense sucks. I think Dalvin Cook is dust. And even when the Cowboys running backs are healthy and good, I don't think he's good. But yeah, I wouldn't add Dalvin Cook.
You couldn't pay me
to
start Dalvin Cook.
All right, next up, wide receivers. DK, give us your number one wide receiver entering week 9.
I think on opposite of running backs, there's a lot of good receiver options this week. I'm going to go with Cedric Tillman for the Browns right now. 12 targets last week. Followed that up with a really strong game this week. 9 targets, 7 catches, 99 yards, 2 touchdowns, including the game-winning touchdown or the go-ahead touchdown at the very least. I don't know. I just kind of feel like Jameis Winston is a kingmaker when it comes to fantasy. And Stefanski came out and told the media today that Jameis Winston was going to remain the starter. Tillman is a big, fast, deep threat and seems to have good rapport. Maybe there's like a little backup, 2 backup players kind of like playing on the scout team together for most of the season. There's a rapport there with Tillman and Winston. And I also think, a couple other Browns receivers are good, but I'm going to go with Tillman for now, just because he's been really, really strong since Winston took over.
I think I agree.
I had Tillman too. It just, they don't have a great schedule for fantasy purposes for receivers going forward. I don't care. Jameis is Jameis. So Cedric Tillman, baby.
I love this. I love that
we're halfway through the year and I'm like really excited about Cedric Tillman. I would not have seen that coming.
The one caveat is if Josh Downs for the Colts is available, we'd probably take Josh Downs over him just because if Richardson finally produced with Downs in, that's nice because Downs hadn't had 4 points with Richardson playing. Also, low-key, I think Shane Steichen might bench Anthony Richardson.
No, he came out today. So he was asked about it and he basically didn't say, no, Richardson's our starter. He said everything is being evaluated. So that seems like a soft launch of the benching almost.
So Josh Downs, if he's there, but for our purposes, because Josh Downs is probably rostered, we're going to go with Cedric Tillman.
Does Anthony Richardson have any children that he can bring to a press conference to help solve?
He's got a little brother. He could just bring the little brother, the Nick Sirianni.
Maybe a puppy.
Yeah. Or you could do that. There's a congressman running in Virginia who did a campaign commercial and he hired a family. He borrowed his friend's family to do a campaign commercial. Yeah. So then he did it like it was his family. And then it came out that was none of those people are his kids or his,
his friend's family. It's like his friend's wife and kids.
So Richardson could do that. Joe Flacco has kids And he could take Joe Flacco, just like bring Joe Flacco's kids with him everywhere he goes.
Richardson is old enough to be one of Flacco's kids. He can bring Flacco as his dad.
Richardson's
you
mom
can't
is
fire me in
Flacco's
front of my
age.
dad, Joe Flacco. All right. So what? Yeah. So we're doing
Cedric Tillman. Cedric Tillman looks good, man. I gotta say, he looks like he's got juice. The new Nico Collins. All right, it is the Cedric Tillman on the rejuvenated Browns showdown time.
Did we get that gong yet? Someone offered us a gong. I feel like we didn't respond. We need to respond to that guy.
I want to take their gong.
I want the gong.
They're offering the gong.
I'll take the gong. It's like the Seinfeld. Take the pen.
I don't want the pen.
Take the pen.
He wants to give you the gong. Take the gong. Don't
Take
gong.
the pen.
Don't gong block.
Oh.
All right. This trivia question's from Brian.
Brian.
So that was weird.
Okay. Wade Jones. Of course.
Wade.
Brian.
And of course, Wade Jones.
What do we got?
So we argued a lot about SpongeBob last week, and it started with DK not knowing anything about SpongeBob or Bikini Bottom. And so Brian writes, DK, the designated grandpa and noted U.S. military enthusiast of the show, did not seem to realize that Bikini Bottom is actually an appropriate term that comes from the Bikini Atoll, the site of the U.S. nuclear bomb testing until 1958. And that is the premise of SpongeBob, is these are all like nuclear warped creatures.
For the record, I have not seen the show, so I apologize for not making that connection.
Well, I don't even know if you would have by seeing the show. There's no reference to it.
Talking. But anyway, that is why it's called.
But you knew it was a talking sponge under the sea.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's all you needed to know.
Is that his last name?
I probably should have put two and two together. Let's be honest.
Okay, so what's the question here?
How many nuclear tests were conducted at Bikini Atoll?
God, dude, this is just. You know how they say like, set your co-host up for success. Set your teammates up for success. These
questions. It's wild. We used to do this. We used to just be like, where do we test these atomic bombs? Like, I don't know, just the ocean. It's kind of nuts that we just did this.
I've seen some videos of it. It's pretty wild. They do like underwater tests and all this crazy shit.
There was a movie about a subcommittee hearing last year, and they had some footage of it.
Oh, really?
Love the subcommittee hearing movie last year that also had the footage of the nukes.
Heifetz just loves like getting a little insult into Oppenheimer just whenever he can.
I loved Oppenheimer.
Yeah,
sure. Leave out the subcommittee hearing next time. Anyway,
best picture winning film. How many years were they testing? Can we know that?
No idea. I assume it was not 30.
How many nuclear tests did they do at Bikini Atoll?
How many can you do? Like, you know,
I feel like you can't do that many before you start to ruin the Earth's atmosphere.
Like, are we in like one a year, or like how many are we testing here?
Craig, we used to drive around with no seatbelts. There's lead in paint.
Yeah,
you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Wait, have you seen that meme, the Spider-Man meme? It's the 3 Spider-Mans, and it's like my grandpa, my dad, and me. And it's like grandpa, it's like with lead paint, and my dad with asbestos, and me with microplastics, and everyone's pointing at each other.
Me with microplastics.
Everyone's got one.
All right.
I got a number.
Ready?
3, 2, 1. 50.
20.
15.
You said 15 or 50?
15.
15. You said 20. I said 50. The answer is, oh, wow, correct. 23.
Let's go. We're back. Let's go back.
Let's go.
Again, when we don't know what we're talking about, we do them pretty well. Okay, Craig. So you get Cedric Tillman. DK, you go next.
Oh, boy. Okay. Let's see here.
Tillman and Downs are off the table.
Sticking with what we talked about with Garendo last week, or sorry, for the last episode, whatever, last segment. Ricky Pearsall not playing next week, but he looked pretty good. He came in for the 49ers. Debo is hurt. Jennings is still out. I'm assuming Jennings will be back and Debo may be back next week, so this may not matter, but Ricky Pearsall is definitely worth a stash at this point. First round pick, looked pretty good. May have a bigger role in this offense going forward. But if we're doing this game, I think I'm going to just go with Elijah Moore for the Browns. Stick with the Browns. It's funny that like Jerry Jeudy would be my third choice on this.
Jeudy sucks. He catches everything in his body. His hands are awful.
Yeah.
Also, Cedric Tillman is playing. Cedric Tillman was only off the field for 3 pass plays. He is assuming the Amari Cooper role, Cedric Tillman.
Yeah.
And I think Elijah Moore is just straight up better than Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, he's actually looked really good. I kind of had given up on Moore, but I think with the Deshaun situation, it was basically a non-starter in that passing game. This was the worst passing game in the NFL. So, yeah, Elijah Moore, he had 6 targets, 6 catches, 41 yards last week. He had 12 targets this last week, 8 catches, 85 yards. Outproduced and out-targeted Jerry Jeudy. Both him and Tillman did. So I'm going to go with Elijah Moore.
I like that one. I think Elijah Moore's good. Then in that case, I'll take Keon Coleman, the receiver for the Bills, who I was pretty hard on for the first 2 months. But he really turned it on since the Cooper trade. I think he had barely 200 yards in the first 6 weeks of the season. He's got just under 200 yards in the last 2 games for Keon Coleman.
These rookies, man. Lad McConkey's turned it on. Keon Coleman, yeah.
Every single year, the rookie wall, it's the opposite. It's like the rookie wall's in September. And then actually the last couple months. So I think Keon Coleman's the epitome of it. And every year there's a couple guys you don't think it's going to happen for. I was a little dubious that Keon Coleman contributed a lot to the Bills, but I think it's just there's too much talent to not get on the train. And so Keon Coleman's the guy that I would add this week. I love him to death. I will say, because he's like one of the most popular rookies I've never seen the NFL draft itself, the 24-hour content cycle out of the draft, turn someone more famous who was less famous than Keon Coleman. Like the viral videos of him. So if he's been rostered in your league the whole time and he's not available, the other person I want to shout out is Xavier Legette, who it's a little weird.
Rookies.
Because, he's Carolina Panther receiver.
And Jalen Coker.
I think Coker had more of a fake day. Xavier Legette.
Coker played the second most snaps.
I know, but it was all garbage time. His touchdown was, those touchdowns.
Every game for the Panthers is garbage time.
It's true. That's a good point. It's so when they score a touchdown and they're kind of like sad, like they just hand the ball the ref back. All right, 4 more to go. Yeah. But the thing I just want to say for Legette is because we're recording this Monday, October 28th, Deontay Johnson, the receiver for the Panthers, and Adam Thielen, they're the last 2 receivers who could get traded because Hopkins went to the Chiefs and Amari Cooper went to the Bills and Devontae Adams went to the Jets. And then so you have Christian Kirk with the Jaguars, broke his collarbone. Deontay Johnson and Thielen are 2 of the last real receivers in the trade market. If Deontay Johnson, who's getting like 1/3 of every pass from Carolina goes to Deontay Johnson. If he left, Xavier Legette would get a crazy amount of targets. I don't even know if I'm saying you would play Xavier Legette this week. It's more like I wouldn't be if Deontay Johnson got traded. Legette could be like pretty crazy valuable for the rest of the season. And he's also like a very fun guy. He's also like the other Keon Coleman. Fun after the draft.
The Keon Coleman is like growing on me. I've had some doubts about Keon Coleman. I think he's like really talented, but it might take a little while to get going in the league just because he's sort of raw. And I mean, they still they're not running him on a ton of different types of routes. It's like a lot of go balls, a lot of throw it up in the end zone. Against the Seahawks on Sunday, they threw like a fade pass in the end zone to him, and Reek Wolin, I think, knocked it away or did a good job of like defending the play. And then Reek got like in his face and was talking shit and all this stuff. And they turn around on like the very next play, threw it up to the other side on Reek Wolin, and Keon Coleman caught the touchdown. And,
that was sick.
And I was like, oh, Keon Coleman is just gonna like go berserk. And Keon Coleman just went up to him and patted him on the helmet. Like he's like a sweetheart. I think I love this guy. He's so nice.
And he did the block.
He had the opportunity to like bury Reek Wolin. Reek Wolin just kind of like walked off, and Keon Coleman just like patted him on the helmet. I'm like, I love this guy.
That's like when you get cut off on the road and you're driving, instead of the middle finger, hit him with a thumbs up. Nothing hits more.
Dude, that's like, did you see, somehow the most disrespectful thing after the Hail Mary was, I don't know if it was Tyreek Stevenson, but one of the Bears after the Washington Hail Mary were on the ground, and one of the receivers for Washington tried to pick them up help them up off the ground, like really earnestly. I don't know if it was like their friends or they actually were just trying to dig at him, but something about like they had collapsed and like just heartbreak, and something about the Washington guy trying to help them up I thought was actually the funniest possible thing you could have done.
It's like so condescending.
Yeah, it's
oh, did you fall down?
Oh my God. Like that Jimmy Butler meme where he's like over the scores table when he's exhausted in the finals. Like imagine LeBron's like, dude, you need water, dude? Can't get you anything?
Did Stroud big brother to Anthony Richardson this weekend?
People said he did. People said that he did go up.
I didn't witness it. But,
I mean, usually these quarterbacks meet after the game no matter what, but we did get some tweets saying that Stroud was talking to Richardson.
Well, Stroud's probably like, you know what, dude, no worries. You needed a breather this week. It's get it, man. You know, you get into the professional world. We all need to take a breath from time to time, man. You're all good, baby.
Maybe he'll get benched next week just so he can rest because he's so tired.
Yeah, he's just been working hard.
I want to mention 2 other guys just real quick here. Xavier Hutchinson and John Mechie for the Texans could be sneaky pickups because Nico Collins still on the injury reserve. He's probably getting pretty close to coming back. can't remember exactly which week he comes back, but Stephon Diggs might be out for the year. There's people talking about potentially ACL injury. They're still evaluating him as of Monday morning. But
Monday it's 4:00 Eastern on the East Coast. And honestly, you'll probably have a diagnosis on Diggs by the time you listen to this.
Mm-hmm. If he's out for the year, it might be worth going and grabbing Mechie. I mean, I think Hutchinson's playing more, but I think Mechie's, there might be something there with him. He looked really good in the preseason. He's just been kind of stuck behind a bunch of good players right now. And I kind of have still have some hope for Mechie going forward.
Tight ends, DK, number one. So I think number one tight end, we would all agree, is if he's available, Cade Otton for the Bucs. Frankly, I think he's not available. That one I think is a no-brainer.
For sure.
Number one tight end of the week, 2 touchdowns. Godwin and Evans are out. I feel like
Cade Otton's the tight end 8 on the year.
Yeah. So I feel like Cade Otton, it would be cheating to be like, go ahead, Cade Otton on waivers. If he's available, go get him.
Also, I'd like to shout out just what George Kittle did on Sunday night and how good George Kittle's been. This is genuine. Like, George Kittle is having a phenomenal year, and we haven't discussed it really once. George Kittle's having the 3rd best fantasy season of any tight end in the past 5 years.
Oh, wow.
He's unbelievable. Like he's another guy on the list of like, cause he's 30. And I think and I was a little afraid of George Kittle this year because the injury he had it last season. He lost 40 pounds of muscle because he couldn't lift for 3 months. And I was a little reticent of what happens when you're 30 and you have to regain 40 pounds of muscle before you can even start training. He's an animal, man. He's actually like, he's every bit as good as people talk about with him.
When he caught a little crosser and then ran away from the defense. I was like, no NFL player has ever been like galloping harder than he was galloping in that moment. He was just absolutely galloping. It felt like he had like a soundtrack in his head, and he was just like lifting up his knees as much as possible. He's just running so crazily and wildly. I think that's just kind of how he is, though. He plays a very unbridled, funny style of football. It's just like really fun to watch, and he has 6 touchdowns this year, which is probably, I mean, I'm guessing it's on pace to be like his career high, but we'll see.
My old football coach in high school always said that like it was an offensive line thing, but I think it applies to Kittle too. The theme in your head should be balls on parade.
Yeah.
And like, that's 100%. Very much what Kittle has the ball. It's like balls on parade. Like totally. that is, and it just, every time he has it, he's such a freaking like football player. Like
he had 6 touchdowns all of last season. So he has 6 already.
In case you don't have Kittle, who are your number one? DK is your number one tight end for this week.
I think, is it boring just to say Taysom Hill again? I feel like we've said that every freaking week. Now he's coming back. He's healthy-ish. He had 4 rushes for 20 yards, 2 catches for 21 yards on 4 targets, and he completed a 3-yard pass. Kendre Miller, stop me if you've heard this before, injured his hamstring in this game, so he's out again. I think Taysom Hill is going to continue.
Was Dennis Allen right? Was Dennis Allen ahead of the curve?
Yeah.
Is that really?
I mean, it's hard to get mad at a player for getting hurt, but like Kendre Miller is kind of like blurring the lines there. Like I kind of am getting mad at him.
Can I tweak that? No. I think it's really easy to get mad at a player for being hurt. It's hard to like be an adult and get over it, as we should. But I think getting angry at the injuries is actually the easy part.
So I guess I'll go with Taysom Hill because he's going to be a big part of their goal line packages and everything. And it sounds like Derek Carr is getting close to being back. So if Derek Carr gets back, I assume this offense will start to pick up a little bit more. I mean, the Rattler thing was interesting, but you know, he's obviously got a long ways to go. I think Derek Carr will elevate this offense once he gets back.
Adding to that, the Saints play the Panthers this week, and don't underrate, to your point, how much they need Taysom Hill in the goal line to be basically the quarterback inside the 20, and how much they're still a divisional opponent, and they do want to embarrass the Panthers. So they will run up the score.
Panthers defense is atrocious.
Yeah, they're the worst team in the league. Craig looks like he did not have Taysom Hill.
No, I don't know. I'm kind of between Taysom Hill. So Taysom Hill last week played 2 snaps at quarterback, 3 at running back, 2 at tight end, 14 in the slot, and 8 out wide. And he completed a pass. He ran it 4 times. He caught 2 passes. Yeah, all right. I'll go with Taysom.
It's weird, but like tight end sucks. Like that's the thing. Yeah. Tight end sucks. Like if you
there
want to have
are
Hunter-
other guys I will be comfortable with. I feel more comfortable with tight end than I do running back this week.
Yeah, I think that Taysom Hill, again, he could suck, but I think the point is all the tight ends could suck. Like, yeah, Hunter Henry could have like 2 catches for 20 yards. The difference with Taysom, I know we've been saying this and it hasn't happened, but like, because he's been hurt, but Taysom Hill's the only guy here who, if like when Cade Otton has 29 points, you're like, that's kind of, well, like even him, it's kind of like his Godwin and Evans are out. Taysom Hill's the guy that you're like, if he gets 3 touchdowns in a game, you're like, oh, yeah, that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Everyone else is kind of like, what? All All right, there you go. Craig, not very excited for Taysom Hill showdown time.
It is the Taysom Hill showdown time.
All right, this one's from David.
Davey.
You talked a lot about Mason Rudolph last week and who he could be named after. Heifetz said he was.
It's not named after a reindeer.
The name, it's giving reindeer. Are we going to pretend that Mason Rudolph does not evoke reindeer?
Rudolph on this.
What
is the song? Rudolph with your nose so bright. Won't you guide my sleigh tonight?
I'm glad you brought that up. The question is, what year was this? What year was that story written? Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh God,
the story.
Yeah,
this is a good question. I like this one.
I'm gonna. Okay. I know what to do. 3, 2, 1. 1962.
I said 1940.
Okay, I said 42 because that was also the year of that. What was the
Damn
other
it? Heifetz. Heifetz just prices right at me.
The answer is 1939.
Oh, wow! The start of the war.
Hell yeah!
DK, winning your old man corner, DK.
I remember that year. It was a good year.
1939 was a good year.
Actually, it was a tough year. It was there was darkness approaching. You know,
it's fucking brutal.
So yeah, who did I win? I win Taysom Hill. All right,
congrats.
Taysom Hill against the Panthers is actually kind of a nice win.
I guess I'll take. Hunter Henry is probably smarter, but I actually screw it. I still want Zach Ertz, man. I still just would like.
Yeah, that was my second choice.
I like at the end of the day, there's an element of this of like they're so close. I'm like, would you rather have a steak watching Jaden Daniels or a steak watching Jacoby Brissett? Like I would just like to have a small piece of this Washington offense. So give me Zach Ertz. I know that's probably the dumb worst
just
answer.
Choose
I don't care.
The team of destiny. That's all.
Yeah, like one team is the most magical team in years, and the other one's the Patriots. So I'm going to take Washington and Zach Ertz. Also, he had 11 targets too, so that's good.
I will still do Hunter Henry, I suppose. Hopefully, Drake may plays. He has a concussion. I'll do that. I also want to shout out for real deep leagues if you're in need. Will Dissly, the tight end on the Chargers, DK's doppelganger. The last 3 weeks, so they had the other tight end, Hayden Hurst. He's been out for a while with a groin injury. Will Dissly has stepped in. The last 3 weeks, he is 6th among all tight ends in targets per game. Will Dissly, 6th. He had 41 and 81 yards in his last 2 games. So Will Dissly's kind of lingering. Looked good last week.
Linger.
He's lingering. He is. Will Dissly's lingering.
All right, quarterback streamers.
Feels like a coach's guy.
Yeah.
Oh, big coach's guy. Blocks.
Yeah, people like Dissly.
Yeah.
The Diss. If he was good, the
Billy
Diss. Yeah. Billy Diss.
Quarterback streamers. If you need a quarterback, Bo Nix, the quarterback for the Broncos. Bo Nix is straight up a top 5 quarterback in fantasy in the last month. Straight up.
Bo Nix.
But yeah, the only quarterbacks that have more, I'm throwing out Russ because he played one game. The only quarterbacks that have more points per game than Bo Nix in the last month are Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, and Baker Mayfield. And the only quarterbacks that have more carries than Bo Nix in the last month are Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson. Like Bo Nix has carried the ball more than Jaden Daniels in the last month. So, that is what it is. And so he should be rostered and probably started over every pocket passing quarterback.
Also Jameis.
Yeah, I would take Bo Nix over Jameis, but then I would take Jameis if Bo Nix is gone.
Also Malik Willis in case Jordan Love is out. Although it sounds like he might be ready to come back next week. I feel like the Packers are kind of good at playing we're not going to tell you who's going to start until the very last second game. But Malik Willis is another one who will run around a lot. I think when he was the starter, he scored a bunch of points for Packers just because he was running. And he's a better passer than I thought he would be. So Malik Willis also out there playing Detroit.
And if you're in a deep league, Stafford does have Cooper, Kupp, and Puka Nacua back. I don't
playing
know.
Playing the terrible Seahawks defense.
Yeah. Defense is the stream. The Eagles are playing the Jaguars. I know the Jaguars have been a little better recently, but Christian Kirk has a broken collarbone, I believe, and he's out for probably the whole season. Brian Thomas has a chest injury and might play this week, might not, though. I feel like, again, the week-to-week was thrown out, and I feel like that usually means it's not good. So the Eagles might be playing the Jags that have Christian Kirk and Brian Thomas, so that would be huge. And again, the Eagles defense look pretty solid. I just keep staring at the Patriots-Titans game, and I know that's kind of whack to pick one of those teams, but I do think it's really funny to have one of the defenses in that game. That's obviously not very sexy. But I feel like a lot of the defenses this week aren't awesome for streaming purposes. But the Eagles, I think, probably are available. I feel like a lot of people didn't play them versus the Bengals.
Yeah, giving up 2 touchdowns the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, the Eagles defense is certainly a lot better. So I think the Eagles is pretty solid. The other one, if you really are also, Commanders are playing the Giants. The Commanders defense has been better. We made a lot of fun of the Commanders defense. They're getting better.
Yeah.
And the Saints defense is also not something that you watch Thursday Night Football and you're like, Saints, but they are playing the Panthers and Bryce Young is probably going to play again. So that it's always doable if you want to play against the Bryce Young and the Panthers. All right. Kai, you want to hop in here? Tell us how we're doing. Pick a team.
What's up, guys? How are we doing?
Go Frogs.
It's good to see you. Yeah, go Frogs. Kendra Miller, my guy. Can't get on the field, so that's good.
He should go back to TCU.
God,
honestly, we need him. It's rough over there, too. So rough in the college land for TCU, also very rough in the pros land for TCU. So just all together, not great. But still go Frogs, always. So last week, I chose Danny Heifetz, and Danny Heifetz lost. So that means I lost. And that means I'll have
Who
to.
did Heifetz have?
It was a psyop.
Heifetz had Kamani Vidal, Juwan Jennings, Zach Ertz for 12.8 points. Now this is where
Jennings unfortunately did not play for Heifetz.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate.
That's
one.
part of it, though. Nature of the game.
It's tough. Took the swing and unfortunately did not connect. This is where it gets interesting. Craig currently has 9.6 points with Jalen Tolbert, Noah Fant, and Jalen Warren to play tonight. DK has 15.7 points. And like I said, Heifetz has 12.8. So Craig could jump both of them. 3 points, a little over 3 points to beat Heifetz and a little over 6 to beat DK with Jalen Warren. So tight one. Tap into Monday Night Football. Should be good.
I like that. Great.
But I lost.
Kai, do you have a trivia score update?
I do.
The trivia?
Craig, you're in the lead.
Nice.
You have 10.
It's close, though.
Yeah, it's close. Yeah. DK has 8 and Heifetz has 6. It's been neck and neck all season. So it's been fun.
Nice.
So who are you picking today, Kai?
This is a really, really difficult one because you guys split trivia. And also it's just kind of like a lot of these players are just like,
suck.
Yeah. That's what I was getting at. I think I'll go with you, Heifetz. Braelon Allen, Keon, Coleman, and Zach Ertz, even though you led me astray last week.
That's a pretty solid squad.
My team sucks. I admit it this week. My team's
Who's Craig's team?
Craig has, hold on, Justice Hill, Cedric, Tillman, and Hunter Henry.
Oof.
Yeah, I don't want that team either.
And DK has Tyler Allgeier, Elijah Moore, and Taysom Hill. So, but I have Breece Hall, so I'm rooting for Braelon Allen, but also my fantasy, it's kind of annoying.
So, Kai, when I inevitably fail you again and you lose again, I think you tried the Oreo, and we all did the Coke Zero Oreos.
I tried it twice
last week,
and I tried the Coke. Let's just make sure that that's on wax.
Kai has really been freaking grinding. He's been getting after it. I have to give him his flowers on that.
I think next week we have to get into Halloween.
This week.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But next week's show,
because
then you get all the candy.
Trick or treating on Thursday. It's coming.
You get all the candy, and then I think next week's show on Monday, we get into the candy.
What's your go-to candy, Kai?
I have a lot of them. I'm a big candy guy. That's why
you're a candy guy.
I'm pretty excited about this. This is the first Kai's guys I've been amped
No,
for.
we're gonna give you the weirdest shit we can find. So don't worry.
Craig, what's the grossest candy?
I feel like it's low risk, high reward. Maybe I find a new candy. I don't know. I'm excited.
I think we should each nominate a candy for Kai to try. I'm trying to think of weird old candies from my childhood.
Candy corn is the famous gross one.
Oh, candy corn stinks.
Yeah, candy corn sucks. I've had it.
I was just going to say black licorice. Just reminds me of my grandma.
Like a Good and Plenty. I actually don't mind black licorice.
What?
Yeah, I think Good and Plenty's are okay.
Quality.
I think they're all right.
It's a bad take. Maybe you're worse.
I want Kai to have an Almond Joy for sure.
Yeah.
That's
Almond
good one.
suck.
I've never had an Almond Joy. I've kind of lived my life 25 years in trying to avoid
it's
them.
Super low on in my opinion, it's super low on the candy bar hierarchy.
Yeah.
What about, I would love Kai to try, I really want Kai to get his hands on an Abba Zaba. Have you guys had one of those?
Never heard
of it.
What
that is.
You never heard of Abba Zaba? Heifetz, have you?
Was it made by the band?
What's an Abba Zaba?
I don't know. I don't know if it was made by the band.
Taffy candy bar with peanut butter center. It's made by the Annabelle Candy Company in California.
You never seen an Abba Zaba before?
I've never heard of it.
I recognize this. Actually, I did. I had
Abba
these
Zaba?
in the Spotify office this last week.
You had an Abba Zaba?
I think
I've
so.
never seen this.
You ate an Abba Zaba?
I didn't know what it was. It was handed to me and I ate it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was it good? Do you remember?
DK has a lot of fun stories that way.
Look, it was when Tyler Parker hands you a candy and says, "Try this," you do it.
Honestly,
all right.
that's a good take.
Heifetz,
And I liked it.
It makes sense that you were unfamiliar with it, Heifetz. I don't know why this is the case, or the phrasing here is funny, but on Wikipedia it says Abba Zaba bars can be found almost exclusively west of the Rockies.
Well, like it's like Coors Light.
I don't know why it's fucking phrased like
Because
that.
all the clouds get stuck on the mountains. They can't get the Abba Zabas across the mountains. There's the passes are all snowed in this time of year. West of the Rockies.
I'm down.
Have you guys
I'm
ever
down to
seen
try
those
an
like
Abba Zaba.
satellite wafer candies? Jackie's mom's obsessed with them, but the satellite it's like packaging. It's like cardboard. I kind of want to eat that.
Abba Zabas are also featured prominently in Half Baked, the Dave Chappelle movie in 1998.
Oh, wow.
Dude, I'm just reading fun facts about Abba Zaba here. Abba Zaba is mentioned along with Almond Joy, the two candies I mentioned, in a Tom Waits song called Chocolate Jesus.
I think that's the answer. It's got to be an Abba Zaba and an Almond Joy for Kai next week.
Okay.
Or this week.
Is there any
one
gross
more.
candies that you guys kind of... I need one of you to bring up what's a gross candy that you never liked as a kid on Halloween?
Come on, this is your chance.
What are the little balls that like the malt?
Malt
balls
balls stink.
Yeah, milk
those
duds.
are not good.
No, not Milk Duds.
Rolos? Is that something different?
Milk duds suck, dude.
What? Milk Duds will like pull your tooth out.
Yeah, milk
but
duds are just
they don't
mid.
taste bad.
They're just mid.
Oh, Kai likes milk duds. He defended them. The strike against you guys.
Kai, you've never had an Abba Zaba. Have you had you never had an Almond Joy? Have you had a what did he just say? What
Milk
did you
Dud?
just mention?
I don't know, but black licorice is pretty funny.
Oh, Good and Plenty.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'll
Good
do
and
it, but that made me less excited about this game.
Or a malt ball.
Let's do malt balls.
Malt ball is pretty funny.
Because you know
Yeah.
what? Malt balls, like, you'll get those on Halloween.
I
Like,
want to
yeah.
do malt balls.
Okay.
Yeah.
those
Malt
are like,
balls.
you know, that's like the packing peanut of the Halloween candy,
Yeah.
like in the bowl on the front porch. You like dig your hand and you pull out 3 malt balls. You're like, what?
It's kind of like honeydew in a fruit salad where I'm just like digging around this shit.
Oh, I like honeydew.
oh, these are Whoppers.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Whoppers.
okay. I've had
Yeah,
Whoppers
Whopper.
before.
Yeah, Whoppers. That's
had
that's
Whoppers.
that's the one I want to pick.
You like
Whoppers suck.
Whoppers?
Whoppers look
they're
fine.
fine.
Whoppers
I
suck.
don't
I
like
get
them. I don't know
They're
why.
fine. I've had them
Whoppers
before.
stink. We need to find one.
Stink.
We need to find one he hasn't had. He hasn't
Why do
had
they
Abba
make
Zaba
them?
or Almond Joy.
Why do they who's buying Whoppers? Why are they in all the mix? Like, do you think they made a bunch like 30 years ago and they are just doling them out every year to get rid of them slowly? Why do they make them?
I don't know.
They come in
I
like
guess
those
people like them.
weird cartons too. I don't know. Weird branding.
Yeah. All right, Kai, you'll eat Whoppers soon.
Okay.
He's had Whoppers though. I want to give him something he hasn't had. Have you had candy corn?
I have had candy corn.
What about
Kai
Tootsie
likes
Rolls?
candy.
I've had Tootsie Rolls. Not great.
What about a York peppermint patty?
Ooh. I don't know. I haven't had one of those in a long time.
That's a good
Ooh,
one.
let's
for
do
me.
that.
That's a good one.
Oh wait. What about a Mounds?
Mounds?
I don't think I've
You know
ever had
Mounds?
Mounds.
You don't know Mounds is like coconut and chocolate.
More coconut?
But that's also what a Almond Joy is.
yeah.
Yeah, I was
Wait,
going
no,
to say
Almond
this
Joy is
seems
almond.
similar.
No, almond joys aren't coconut, are they?
Yeah.
No, it's probably what the almonds.
No, it's just almonds and chocolate.
No,
I
it's
thought.
definitely
yeah.
coconut. That's why I've stayed away.
Yeah,
Coconut's in there.
it's sweetened shredded coconut with whole almonds covered in
Oh.
milk chocolate.
Dude.
I find all those very similar.
I don't think I've ever had an
Not my
almond joy,
favorite.
which is why I'm suggesting it.
Get coconut out of my chocolate.
So
That's how
wait,
I feel.
I'm right there
So,
with you, DK.
So a Mounds is just an almond joy without the almonds?
I think it's kind of like how a Milky Way
But it's a
is
Mounds.
the
It's a
Snickers without the
Mound.
nuts.
Is there an
And then
almond
the-
joy without the coconut? That's something I'd be willing to try.
You want a Three Musketeers
Probably.
Oh, what
to
about
use
a-
to the Mounds.
What about a payday? I don't know if I've ever had one of those. Are those good?
Payday is peanuts.
Are they good?
I like paydays.
Okay.
Do you?
Wait, no, that's not. I'm thinking of something else. I don't like those.
Okay.
Too much peanut.
Dude, my favorite candy recently is the Reese's came out. Reese's talking about we used to joke
Reese's is
Oreos,
goated.
little
Reese's
freaks.
is iterating.
Dude, the Reese's they have these it's not a Take 5 bar.
Iterating.
They
Is that
are.
just
They're also
they're
little
just
freaks
making
at
up
Reese's.
new ways to feed you the.
But
the
it
Reese's
usually
peanuts
works.
and-
Like
yeah.
it's like a show that has a bunch of spin-offs, but they're actually all not bad.
like,
It's
like Nutsrageous or Nutrageous.
they're okay.
Dude,
they
the fast break bar is really good. The Reese's fast break is fucking sick.
That's kind of like a Take 5. Take 5's rip.
Yeah, the fast break with peanut butter is pretty outrageous.
What does it take?
Take 5 is one of the
good.
most underrated candy bars. It's pretzel, caramel, and chocolate, I believe.
Yeah.
Do they still make Nutrageous?
I've never even heard of that.
What?
I don't know. That's a crazy name for candy.
Kai, what about sweet tarts?
Oh, I like sweet tarts. Sweet tart
How
ropes.
you do?
Those go hard. Should I try this Take 5? I've never had a Take 5.
Yeah, let's give him something that might be
Try Take
good.
5. Take 5 is
So,
like our favorite thing in the world. That's like
Take
the spirit.
5.
I'm gonna have a Nutrageous.
Nutrageous?
There's a line. There's shit. What is the? You know the movie Out Cold? Did you ever see that snowboard movie Out Cold with Zach Galifianakis and a bunch of people?
No.
There's a line. It's like a blooper line. And he goes, "These pants make my nuts rageous." And I just like it's like one of the greater like stupid comedies from like the 90s or whenever it was released.
The three of us are like, I feel like Kai Heifetz and I were talking about like what candy for Kai to try for like a good 2 minutes. And then at the very end, just in the background, DK's just, I'm going to have a Nutrageous.
This is just an excuse for me to try a Nutrageous, which I haven't tried since probably the year 2000.
Kai, have you had a Butterfinger?
Yeah, I've had a Butterfinger. I could go with a Butterfinger.
Butterfingers are good. They get stuck in your teeth so hard.
Yeah.
though.
Butterfinger's a bizarre candy.
They
How do we
coat
feel
your
about-
teeth like it's like encased in freaking amber.
How do we feel about Laffy Taffies in this house?
I like them.
Okay.
Don't the yellow banana Laffy Taffies, the old kind of bananas that went extinct?
That's the only Laffy Taffy I'll have. I will not try any other flavor. The yellow
'Cause you know
one.
how the Laffy Taffy, all bananas are genetically identical?
Yeah.
And then the Laffy Taffy, it's
I
the
didn't know
old
that.
banana flavor from like, there's a type of banana that was like went extinct. And then the ripe type of banana, they just cloned. And so now all the bananas you have are genetically identical. So they're
That's
actually
correct.
really
It's like
susceptible.
Barbara Streisand's dog.
Yes, exactly. Like Barbara, or like Daniel Jones and Eli Manning, just like cloned, But it's the old, so that like Laffy Taffy flavor doesn't taste like banana because it like used to be a different kind of banana that we don't have anymore.
All right, so what do we decide on?
Yeah, what am I eating?
Abba Zaba,
Okay. Almond Joy.
Almond Joy, Take 5.
I'm excited. Maybe I'll like one of them.
You're in for a treat.
Quite literally.
Good
Nice.
pun.
All right, thank you, Kai. All right, we also got a ton of people emailing us about the Wade Jones.
All right.
And if you listen to the Sunday show, it was pretty funny. But basically, how did we get on this? I don't remember. Oh, the Dwayne Wade statue.
Yeah,
And we
yeah,
were talking
yeah.
about how Dwayne Wade's it's just been stabbed in the back his whole career because
No one knows what he looks like or his name. What his name is.
Correct. The city of Miami has largely forgotten Dwayne
He's
Wade.
the most famous person of whom no one knows his name or what he looks like.
do the Wade Jones thing again, Craig.
His name, of course,
Of course.
Wade Jones.
Just Dwayne Wade's just like looking around in the crowd, like who's she introducing?
And it was some like city councilwoman just completely butchered it.
But my favorite was, I didn't know. So Ted Kennedy, when he was alive and he was in the Senate, I guess back when when the biggest thing the government had going on was baseball players doing steroids, and they had Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa.
Back when they had smaller fish to fry.
Yeah. Ted Kennedy brings them in to testify, and he says, now, legendary home run sluggers, Mike McGuire and Sammy Sosa,
Oh no.
which is brutal. And this is like before they had come out the steroids.
It
So like
wasn't
they were on
just
the
his
cover of
Kennedy
SI.
accent.
What?
You said it was Ted Kennedy who was
Ted
introducing?
Kennedy, like peak
Wasn't
fame.
it wasn't just like a thick Kennedy accent that
No.
made it sound
Oh
funny.
yeah, Craig, do the Kennedy accent.
I don't know how he would get to Sousa. Sammy Sosa.
Sosha.
And Mike McGuire.
Yeah, Mike and Mark, I suppose.
Mark McGuire.
Mark. Yeah.
Oh, maybe he said Mark,
Yeah, maybe it just sounded like Mike.
McGuire.
Mike. Yeah. He's from Dorchester. I don't know. Dorchester. I don't even know how to say that.
Dorster?
Is that how you say it? Dorchester?
No, I don't know.
It's
I don't know.
Dorchester. All right, thank you, DK. Thank you, Craig. Thank you for emailing.
That's it.
Email us Ringer Fantasy Football. What'd you say?
I said, oh, that's it.
That's all.
That's, it. Yeah.
No, that's good. Let's wrap it up. Wrap it up, B.
Thank you, DK. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Kind Carlos, for producing this episode. Thank you, everyone. Emails at ringerfantasyfootball@gmail.com. We have a very fun, very special power hour for you this week on Wednesday. Please check it out. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok, Ringer Fantasy Football. Again, there's going to be a lot of great stuff there this week. Thank you, everyone who emailed in about Wade Jones, and I'm sorry to all the people who said that they were laughing so hard at the gym that Craig almost killed them. So thank you for sticking with the show, even though that almost happened to you.
I'm going to get sued for killing somebody. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Wheatus. Teenage Dirtbag.
Yeah, I'm just a teenage dirtbag, baby. Yeah.
Listen
Wheatus?
to Iron Maiden. Wheatus.
I'm really happy you're here, DK, because you introduce a whole new genre of music that doesn't come across my desk very often.
Yeah.
So it's nice.
That is literally my goal.
Yeah.
This. I know. At some point I should just make a playlist for you guys of like the music I was listening to when I was in high school and stuff, because I feel like you just did miss out on that whole era. Craig, especially, you feel like you just listen to the oldies and current music.
Yeah.
Even though technically some people would consider my music oldies.
It would be funny if the three of us each built like our top, 25, 50 songs, and then just
100%.
shared it with one another and made the rest of us listen to that.
Did you
That's
get it?
good.
Did you get my mixtape? You know how I would actually force you to listen, and I'd like watch you. I'd be watching you listen, seeing how you react.
Mm-hmm.
We could do that.
Did you?
I had a freshman year of high school. A biology teacher was the man who actually the first homework assignment we had was he wanted to get to know us as like people, and the first assignment we had was burning CDs, 5 songs, and he wanted to listen to like 5 songs that tell me something about you, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
And I put on Soundtrack to My Life by Kid Cudi, and he pulled me aside after, and he was like, "Hey," 3 weeks later he listened to it, and he's like, "Hey, are you okay?"
I thought you were like
Soundtrack
depressed.
to My Life by Kid Cudi. Oh my God.
He's like, "Man, you really like ABBA."
Yes. Wait, so also, DK, is any of the music you listen to emo?
I mean, I don't listen to it anymore, but I did used to listen to emo some. Yeah.
Can I admit something to you guys this week that I've actually been meaning to get off my chest?
Are you going to say you didn't know what emo stood for?
Yes, we were all sitting next to each other and I didn't tell you guys this, but we watched the documentary together, and they were like emo for emotional, and me and shout out Daniel Chin, who works at the Ringer, turned to each other and we're like, "What?"
Didn't put that together.
No, I'll be honest. You always wonder what things left in your life you're going to make you feel that way. Mm-hmm. I thought I was running out, and that one was like, whoa, emo is for emotional. I did not know that.
I mean, nobody says emotional. I feel like emo has taken on like a completely new identity of its own. Like I do not think emotional when I hear emo either. So I get it.
Emo is like parentheses derogatory at this point. Like, don't be emo.
Yeah.
And, like what's the band or song that you think of when you think of emo, Heifetz?
Some like sad, whiny
like
punk.
Chemical Romance. I don't know.
Some sad, whiny punk.
It's almost adjacent to goth in my head. I don't know why.
Who?
Yeah, I get it.
Goth is emo?
I don't know why, but in my head, I feel like it's all
it's
received
like on the sliding
wisdom.
scale. It's like emo comes before goth, and
he is a little emo. He's always talking about his ex.
Who are we talking about?
Who?
Wait, who did you say? I think you said Jared Goff.
No, Goth.
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 Oh my God, no. Goth.
I thought you meant Goff. I was like, I guess you could say he's emo.
I like that.
He does talk about like the Rams, like he's like all mad at him. He's like,
you know what, DK, you're a good improviser. You took that and you ran with it. You said yes and you were like, Jared Goff is emo. That's good.
Among all the quarterbacks, it kind of works, honestly.
Goth.
Heifetz, go listen to like Dashboard Confessional.
And they're emo.
I guess. I think so.
I can't imagine how many people are screaming right now as ghosts. Emails to ringerfantasyfootball@gmail.com.
There's a large
I didn't know this.
variety of emo. But like emo was pretty big in the early 2000s, late 90s, I think. So
I feel like people just make up music genres. Like I'm like looking up goth, and it's like modern goth is a subgenre of gothic rock that incorporates elements of electronic music, industrial, and dark wave. Like, what are we?
It's all connected, Craig.
We're just making shit
diagram.
Up. Dark wave? Diagram. What is dark wave? Industrial dark wave? This is like ChatGPT.
You just
Make
don't
up
get it.
3 genres.
It's kind of emo.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe emo and goth are not related, and people will be very upset that we conflated the two.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
What's goth music?
What do you think
Like Marilyn Manson?
My Chemical Romance, Marilyn? I don't know. Anyone who wears anyone where every member of the band wears black head to toe is
goth
what it's
in my head was always like angry punk.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay. I don't know.
I wonder if 99% of people think I'm dumb or 80, and then 20% are like, dude, I didn't know that either. I found out they're right there.
That's who you represent.
Dude,
yeah.
We got dark wave, death rock, ethereal wave. Like, too many subgenres.
It's too many words.
All right, goodbye, everyone.